Nick.
Welcome to That Superhero Thing podcast, where we discuss the latest superhero and comic book movies and TV shows. I'm your host, Nick, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Anthony.
Hello.
Hiya, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
I'm alright. We're face-to-face again. We're going to try it again. After the train wreck that was last week with the audio not working. Not blaming anybody, but it was me. It was my fault.
I'd have taken that to the grave as well. I wouldn't have said
Would
a
you?
word. Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
I'll edit this bit out. It's all right. I'll edit it out. No one will ever know. So, because we didn't fulfill our promise, should we say our weekly promise to provide you with a good quality podcast?
Yeah.
We're going to do a good quality
That
podcast.
sounded so cheesy.
Maybe. Well, it was supposed to. So, this week, because it was Anthony's idea, we are going to review Army of the Dead that was on Netflix at the weekend.
We've talked about enough times, haven't we, in the lead up to it?
We have.
Especially with it being both Zack Snyder and then having Dave Bautista being in it, so it makes...
Yeah, it's not really a superhero movie,
It's
though,
not,
is it?
no, it's not, but...
I was sitting there today trying to figure out how we can sell this as it being a superhero comic book movie. I was thinking there must be something, but there isn't. So, but we're going to do it anyway.
It involves people that are entangled with superhero stuff.
People
so.
who have read comic books are in this film. Maybe. No guarantee of that, but maybe. Potentially. So, it's a bonus episode for today, so we're not going to go through the news or anything like that. We are just literally going to go straight into the movie. Should we just go straight into a breakdown of it, and we'll do some opinions at the end. We're not going to do non-spoilers. Go and watch the film, come back, and then...
I mean, it's not like you've got to run to the cinema to watch it or anything.
I feel like everybody's watched it.
Yeah, I think everybody did.
Everybody spent the weekend watching it because there was nothing else to do.
One of my friends, bless her, she's in hospital at the moment, and even she's watched it. She sat and watched it on her laptop in the bed.
Really?
Yeah. So,
That's because she wanted to listen to our podcast and didn't want to get lost.
Exactly.
That's
She didn't want to miss out.
That is commitment. So we'll get cracking on the movie then. So the intro then to the movie, it actually got released. I think it got released a week before the movie came out on YouTube. Did you watch it?
No.
Stupid question. We're a minute into the podcast and we've already found literally somehow we found something. Oh, we've not done any news, we've not done any trailers. We've already found something Anthony's not seen.
No, it was because it full on said this is like the first 5 minutes to the
15 minutes it was, wasn't
15,
it?
well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I don't want to ruin the first 15 minutes for myself.
I watched it. I watched it and I thought, it goes up to the bit where they drop the shipping container.
Yeah.
The last shipping container at the end.
Yeah.
Or just before you see Dave Bautista in the diner. And we'll go through it, but I just remember thinking, it's very Zack Snyder for a start.
Yeah.
But also, it was like its own little story.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what it made me think of?
What?
Borderlands. Have you ever played the game?
I've not played Borderlands.
I don't know what it is. There's intros to characters in the game, and it just really had that vibe to it when I was watching it. Yeah.
No, I've seen it.
But I actually watched, because I obviously only watched it in the actual film. I kind of had a proper connection with the whole thing at that bit.
Yeah.
And I really felt everything.
It's clever, isn't it?
The mother and the daughter thing.
That was awful.
Do you know what? That made me think of, and this is really regressing now a little bit, but to Up. Disney's Up.
Yeah.
With Carl and Ellie at the beginning.
Yeah.
That whole bit, because there's no speech or anything like that,
No.
but it totally brings you in on the emotion of it,
Yeah.
and then completely rips your heart apart.
Yeah, but it was how we'll cover in a second what it actually was, what happened in it. But you've seen it if you're listening to it. It was its own story.
Yeah,
but also it was just so full of emotions. There were bits in it that were proper action adventure.
Could have been its own short story.
It could have
been released as a short story, and that would have been amazing.
100%. It was funny. It was full of action.
Yeah,
and then it even had somehow get you to care. How it was 5 minutes, probably the credits bit.
Yeah.
And it got you to care enough in that 5 minutes about that woman and the daughter to the point where when they died at the end, it was oh my God. Yeah. It hit you hard, didn't it?
I know.
Well done, Zack Snyder. You are good. Doesn't matter what Anthony says about you. You're good. So the opening anyway, we start off with a military convoy and it's transporting something from Area 51 because we don't know what it is at the time. They end up crashing on the road with another car and the zombie who it's Zeus, I think they call him. I don't think they actually call him Zeus in the film, but he's credited as being called Zeus, the king of the zombies.
Okay.
King of the zombies. He kills most of the soldiers and then infects 2 of them. They go into Vegas and then that's when we see Vegas get infected, and that's when we get.
I also loved that scene.
Which one?
Like that whole thing from when they go into Las Vegas, and then it's all just while the names are rolling and everything. Like,
yeah.
All the
music,
and like you're just seeing like the showgirls diving on people and stuff like that. It was hilarious, to be fair. Also, very Zack Snyder-y in the sense of 3/4 of it was in slow mo.
A lot of it was. I didn't even think of that, but now
a
that
lot
I'm
of it
thinking
straight
about
off was slow motion, and I was like, "Yep,
yeah.
Zack Snyder."
It was. Yeah.
This could have been an hour and a half film again.
It really reminded me of the Watchmen opening.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. So problems that I had with it, kind of, even though I really enjoyed it. The whole thing was caused by the newlyweds. If they hadn't crashed into the thing, it was all their fault. I also don't quite understand because I've seen the intro twice because I watched it on Netflix. When the base phones the soldiers and says what's happened to the payload, and he says, "Oh, it's been compromised. It's open."
Yeah.
And she says, "Just run and leave it." It's not very professional, is it? It's like, what's going to happen? What, just to save those 2 soldiers' lives? Don't worry about trying to kill the zombie that's going to completely take over Las Vegas. Just get out of there.
Yeah.
That was a bit.
It was
it was a bit stupid.
And
it was supposed to convey.
Also, so the door still seemed firmly shut when it crashed.
Yeah, but he's super strong, Zeus, isn't he?
So why couldn't he have just done it while it was being transferred? Like, why did it take it falling off for him to be able to open the door?
Because it was partly unlocked. I don't know. It was compromised. Compromised. They use the word.
Because it fit the story.
Because it fit well with the story. Like they were trying to sort of sell the fact that this thing was scary, so soldiers run away, but don't worry about other people. The other thing that didn't really fit the story. Well, that's what it was. Probably the last thing I'd say about it is, why did they think it was a good idea to parachute into Vegas?
I laughed so hard at this.
When they started coming down, I was like, okay. And then they were just grabbing them, and I was like, what was the plan?
It's like Fortnite on extreme level.
What was the plan? What did you think? I know, we'll parachute
idea.
in, and I'll shoot every single one of them before I land. What did they think?
It was the fact that the guy that we zoomed in on was only about 10 feet away by the time he's like, oh no. It's like, did you not know that 100 feet ago?
Aim somewhere else. What would they think? I can't imagine what they thought
There's
they would do.
so many roofs and they didn't bother going to any of them.
Maybe
apart from later on when we see a scope of the whole area and one parachute's been caught on a spire.
I didn't even notice that.
You can see the skeleton hanging off it because he never made it to the ground.
I didn't even notice. Notice that a little bit. So after the intro then, which was really good, we picked it apart, but it was good. It sort of, I don't know if it set the tone for the film, but it hooked you, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why they released it a week before, because I watched it and thought, you know what, this is going to be really, really better than I thought. It didn't end up being as good as I thought it'd be off the back of the intro. Yeah. But it was good. So we after the intro we meet, I can't remember his name, I'm just going to call him Batista. We meet Dave Batista's character, and he's working in a diner, and the casino owner Tanaka comes in and says, I want you to go and recover $200 million from my casino that now I can't get to because it's all been shut up, and if you go and get it, I'll give you 50 million. And the reason he wants him to go in is because the government are about to nuke Las Vegas, which is now completely like
they were nuking it on the 4th of July.
They are going to nuke it on the 4th of July. They don't know because they changed the plan.
Of course
they do, just to add a bit of drama,
intensity.
Exactly. So Dave Bautista puts his team together. He gets 2 of his old mates from Vegas, which is Maria and Vandero, who's brilliant, and then he adds the pilot Peters.
I love her, by the way.
Tig.
I can't remember her name, but she's actually in Star Trek Discovery.
I googled her to see what she was in, and I saw that. I saw that she was in there, but I've never seen her in anything.
So
Tig Notaro, her name is.
Oh, okay.
Not in Star Trek. That's her real name.
Her real name.
That's her real name.
It did sound like a bit like a Star Trek name.
It did sound like a Star Trek name, to be fair.
But no, she's awesome in that as well. She's got like a similar character. She's quite sassy and
Oh, does she? She's like
abrupt.
comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, no,
She's,
I've never
she's
seen
good.
her
She plays it well. That's why I was disappointed that we didn't really see her after that until Helicopter Time.
Yeah, she wasn't in it much. But
No.
do you know why she wasn't in it much?
No.
Good. We'll get there
Is
at
that
the end.
the news thing?
No?
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't. So there was Peters, which was Tig Notaro. We had the safecracker that he hires, Dieter, who's amazing.
Stand out for me. He was my favourite character all the way through. He's who I'd imagine you would be in a
Me?
zombie apocalypse, yeah.
What? In what way?
Because you hate scary stuff.
I do
So
hate scary.
I'd expect you to do those
I'll be happy.
screams.
Shut up. Don't scream. Fight like a man.
Anyone who has to say they fight like a man does not fight like a man.
I wouldn't. I would. So we get him. We get a YouTuber, I think. He like kills zombies on YouTube, Guzman.
Yeah.
And then his mate, Chambers. And then finally they get Tanaka's henchman, Martin. He joins into...
Who reminded me a little bit of Red from That 70s Show.
He did, yeah. He did a little bit.
He had a bit of a look off him, didn't he?
Yeah. I thought... So, in this bit, I thought the whole going through the plan was good. It was a bit Ocean's 11-y.
Yeah.
It wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was good how Data
Getting a team together.
Yeah.
All with specific...
Yeah. I thought it was quite good how Data kept stopping the plan. Like, in the middle of the plan, so it looked like it was, like, talking while it was happening.
Yeah.
And the thing that I thought was really interesting was... Because I'd watched... Obviously, we watched the first 15 minutes, and, like, in the build-up to it, I'd watched the trailers. And I think I'd shown Jill, my wife, the trailer as well.
Yeah.
And it seemed like 99% of the footage from the trailer was the plan.
Yeah.
And off the back of that, I thought, this is good, because this now could go anywhere.
Yeah.
And even though it didn't really, it still kind of followed the story.
Yeah.
It took you from, oh, I've seen everything in the trailer, to, shit, I've now seen like the whole trailer. So where's this? Even the bit where they get to the end, where's this going now? And it built up a little bit more suspense, but it was good. So they head towards they had to go into Vegas, and they get joined by Batista. I can't remember his name. Ward, I think it was, but we're calling him Batista. Drax. Let's call him Drax. They get joined by he's Drax. It's a superhero podcast. It'd be amazing. I want to see Drax going into Vegas fighting zombies.
Yeah.
So Drax's daughter joins the team because she wants to go in after her friend Geeta. And then we also get Lily, who is called the Coyote. She joins the team because she's taken them in. So she's been taking people into the...
I kind of love her as well.
She's brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah.
I really thought she was a really good character. She's been taking people into the quarantine zone or into Vegas.
Yeah.
On what, to get money and stuff, or try and find people, things.
Yeah.
From casinos. And then
she
drags
pulls
along,
in that dickhead.
She drags along
doesn't
the pervert security guard.
Yeah.
I literally written down the pervert security guard. I was going to write something else, but it spoils the rest of the film. So he gets dragged in, and Drax's daughter Kate has had a couple of run-ins with him, hasn't she? So
yeah.
he gets dragged
and the reason she joins is obviously because one of her friends has gone in, hasn't she?
Yeah. Geeta's gone in, and a kid has left their kids. So this is as soon as they go in, this is where it becomes a different zombie film. Yeah, in my opinion,
totally
because
changes.
It's not your classic.
As soon as they walk
film.
in, she goes, "This isn't a prison; it's their kingdom." And
exactly.
I was like, "Ooh,
this is going to be. Yeah, this is different." But I like it.
But again, like it was a little phrase, and it just pulled me in that little bit more because I was like,
"It's more
where
interesting.
is this going?"
Exactly. Yeah. So we find out that there's two types of zombies. So there's shamblers that they call them. And then there's
which are our standard historical slow-moving pain in the arse.
Which are nothing more than a pain in the arse, really, in this film. They're not really, unless there's loads of them. They're not really a threat.
That's the thing. It's that whole thing of they're not a threat until it's a horde.
Yeah, but even they didn't even seem that much of a threat when they were a horde. And going from
a bit.
I don't think they were.
When they were sleeping and they're creeping through.
Yeah, but the fact that they sleep and you can creep through them, that was a bit of a cop out.
No, because loads of things do that. Even in the
never seen zombies do that.
Have you ever done a zombie experience?
No.
So
Do you think I'd cope well with a zombie experience?
Probably not, but it'd be really funny to
I really
watch.
want to do one.
So there's like rooms where they are sleeping in like a hive thing, and you've got to creep through. And basically, if your volume levels hit a certain amount of decibels, they will then wake up.
Oh, I couldn't cope with that. It'd stress me the shit
So
out.
you've like so you get like 3 missions or something within it. So you've got like your main mission, and then it'll ask you to pick up things on the way.
Yeah.
So like in the middle of one of these hives is like a med kit that you need to save the person that's at the end in your final mission.
Yeah.
So like you've got to creep in, get that, and creep back out without waking any of them up and stuff like that.
We need to do one of these.
But when they wake up and like when they come for you, you have got to run. I need to train before I go because COVID's done me in.
You were like the first one to
I'll
die
be like,
in the movie.
you know that fat Swedish kid in The Simpsons. Woof! Don't leave me behind. Like that'd be me.
We need to do one.
I'd be throwing my shoes at them.
So you've done one.
I haven't done one. I would love to.
Oh, we should do one. We should do one and record it for the podcast. We'll go and make a video. We'll go and make a YouTube video on the
Honestly,
podcast. We'll do it.
Oh, you'll literally hear me piss my pants.
When
It's not okay.
when COVID's over, we'll have to do it.
Okay.
But so we find out that there's these two. There's the Shamblers and the Alphas that we said. We also meet Valentine, the zombie tiger, who we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
But she.
Yeah.
I think it's a girl. Looks like a girl.
Well, they said it's one of Sigmund and Roy's
yes.
tigers, and I'm sure they are both girls.
How would you know that?
Because they've always referred to them as
that.
she in interviews and stuff.
Okay, so she, it's a girl.
I think.
Valentine, the female tiger, as she will forever be called. You wait until I get back to Valentine later on, because she does come back, spoilers. So Lily sacrifices the security guard for safe passage. So this was, again, weird. So they barter with the zombies, with the alpha zombies. So those zombies
they're offering
are quite,
a trade, basically.
they're quite willing to let them walk around this kingdom, in speech marks, without eating them and without attacking them, as long as they give them somebody to... And they don't even eat him.
No.
They just want another member of the family.
Yeah, they want to build their empire.
They want to build the empire, so they get somebody else. So again, it's weird for a zombie film, but yeah, it was good. It was interesting. It turns out that Lily had brought him because he was a rapist and he was raping women in the quarantine camp, which is fine, top him. So the queen zombie takes him away, and then Zeus infects him, making him an alpha. Again, like I said, very different take, much more interesting. I thought it was really funny how when he was on the floor, when the security guard was on the floor and Lily had shot him, he was like, "Oh no, my mum, I live with my mum," and she says, "Everyone's gonna mother you," and I'm not gonna say it on the podcast because we're not gonna go that far. You see a word, and it's all over Twitter, and it's Zack Snyder again. People comparing it to Batman and Superman, where Batman's standing on Superman, he's saying, "Oh no, look after my mum," and it makes Batman just completely turn. It's like, "Oh, we're best friends now," and this one's like, "No, shut up, everyone's gonna bother." And I've seen loads of pictures where it's Lily standing over Superman, saying it. I thought that was really good. But and again, it shows he must have known what that was going to come across as.
Yeah,
and the fact that Zack Snyder's quite willing just to take the piss out of himself.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
No, I like that.
Well done, Zack Snyder. So this is where we get to the hibernating zombies. So even though they've been granted safe passage, Lily doesn't want to risk walking in the streets. So she decides to take them all inside. We see all these hibernating zombies. There are loads of them, to be fair. Yeah. And they're just sleeping and they're just standing up, and they have to work their way in between. And then that's when Chambers accuses Martin, which is Tanaka's henchman, of having ulterior motives, which he does. So he sabotages her path and ends up waking up all the zombies.
I was livid. I sat and watched it with my mum, and she was fuming as well.
I was a little bit
what a dickhead.
What a bastard. Dickhead. I'm writing a letter. She proper held her own though. Yeah. I thought, this is going to be 2 seconds, she'll be dead.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be gone, and then she made it through that bit, stabbing them silently and then dropping them gently. I was like, fair play to her, she's really doing this like a pro.
But then I thought she'd be dead then once they all woke up, and she still
and then we kind of, because he blocks her, doesn't he? He puts the
he shuts the gate.
He shuts the door and puts the thing through the handles.
Yeah.
And then we don't see her again, and we just assume then at that point that she's gone. You hear the screams and stuff, and then it kind of goes quiet for a second, but then she just flies through the glass, still getting them all. And
she's still not bitten at that point. I don't think.
No, she hasn't at that point.
No.
And then so I was like, everyone just do it, and then they're all like, we need to keep going.
I didn't get that.
Right. So first of all, fuming over that. Second of all, she had perfect opportunity because it was doing 27 shots of everyone looking on in horror while it's going back to her fighting, to everyone looking in horror to her fighting.
Yeah.
And not once did she shout, "He set me up."
I know.
And I was like, if you knew, like, because I mean, there was a point where she knew she wasn't getting out of that alive.
Yeah.
You'd have shouted.
She just sat there and watched.
Because she knows that at that point that he's going to sabotage the rest of them.
Yeah.
That really annoyed me too.
Yeah. It was a bit like, I was surprised that she didn't die that quick.
I was surprised.
Nothing against her, but I just
really
thought...
made me think that she was going to get out of it. That was the thing. When I saw her break through the glass, I was like, I turned to my mum and literally went, "Well, he's had it now, hasn't he?" And then he didn't, and I was fuming.
Yeah, no, I know. It just seemed like a bit of a cop out.
Yeah,
they could have gone. It just didn't fit right with the story, and it did feel like she was stood there for like 20 seconds.
She was there for ages.
To the point where the zombies were even kind of looking at the good guys, going, "Are you gonna come and save her?" Like, well, I'm sure someone.
I'm going to get you.
I'm gonna fight her.
I'm going to get you. No, but what annoyed me again was at that point there was the least amount of zombies around than there had been.
There,
yeah, and I was like.
Because I remember when
is she tired?
She's just knackered.
She's gone, fuck, that window fucking did me in. Not a chance now.
Well, because I did think when that because the Guzman shoots the petrol tank on her back and blows her up. But when he did it, I did think, but you're not going to kill that many zombies because there's literally like 2 zombies on her. Why? But it just makes you think even more. Why did nobody go and save her? You just go and stop. But they don't, because I don't know. They did. They didn't save her, which was a bit stupid, but yeah, it's one of them.
Zack's rules.
It is Zack's rules. We've just sat there and said how great Zack was, and now it's like, no, Zack, didn't like it. But I think it did just put that whole scene. And I know you saying it was a bit like scary, the fact that they're like hibernating. It just made these zombies not come across as any kind of threat at all. Because she lasted a long time.
Yeah, but again though, it's that idea of they're slow, they bumble, like, because that's the type that they are. But it's the fact that you're in the enclosed space and there is a lot of them there. And I know that they didn't really have that many around at that moment.
But they just felt like, I mean, looking back, not at the time necessarily, but looking back on it now, it's because I was just sitting there thinking, if you look at Zack Snyder's last zombie film, the Dawn of the Dead one that he did, those zombies were like, probably, they weren't as powerful and as clever as the alphas in this, but they were kind of like halfway between the shamblers and the alphas, weren't they? They were fast, they were maybe a little bit more clever, but they were proper threatening zombies. And I thought from the trailers for this that all the zombies were going to be like them on another level, basically like the alphas. And it didn't even cross my mind that we were going to have the shamblers in there. But what was, apart from that one death, what was the point in the shamblers? Because they're not in the rest of the film.
No.
They're not in the film at all. You could have just made that all the zombies are alphas.
I think maybe it's the fact that Zack was just trying to buff it out a bit in case they want to turn it into a game.
Maybe.
Because you've got levels of zombies then, haven't you? I don't know.
I just didn't get it. I just didn't get the need for them. Kind of when she said like, "Oh, these ones are all dead," and they wake up, and when it rains, they wake up for a couple of hours.
Yeah, and we never saw that.
No, we never. It didn't rain.
It could have done.
It could have done.
You just have to write it in.
It does,
and it didn't.
He'd run
and
out.
I was really because
as
soon as they said that, I thought, "Oh, okay,
they're gonna wake up at
and
some point.
Something's gonna happen at some point," and then it just.
But there were a couple of things that you sat there that you saw in this film. It was like, this didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah.
We'll get to soon, but. It just didn't make sense. No. He could have spent more time doing other things with other elements of the story than include that 5-minute. Because it didn't even go anywhere. I mean, we kind of already... I suppose it was to establish Martin was a bad guy. But surely that could have been just established later on when we see it again. But anyway, they all make it to the casino that they're aiming for, the one that Tanaka owns. I think it's called the Bly. And Drax, I'm calling him Drax. Drax and his daughter turn on the power. Peters gets to the roof to start fixing the helicopter. And then Dieter and Vandero start working on the vault.
Well, that's one bit where we actually get some storyline as well, isn't it? Because that's where they talk about she's not mad at him, that
yes,
that he killed their mum.
Yeah,
from the flashback.
Yeah,
but it's the fact that he kind of disappeared after that.
Yeah,
and left her to it.
And they kind of like bond,
have a moment.
They have a bit of a moment, don't they?
Yeah,
there were a lot of stories going on in this.
Yeah,
in this film.
The
better bonding moment was Dieter and Vandero.
Yeah,
they were amazing. Yeah, 100%. They were so good. They were both brilliant characters anyway. And then when they kind of like joined together, it was just like, these are great. I could just watch these two. I want like a half hour added what happened with them two just gabbing and chatting to each other when they were doing the vault. It was brilliant. So Martin and Lily are supposed to be watching the perimeter. To make sure I assume shamblers come in, and instead what they do is they go and lure the Queen zombie out, and Martin decapitates her and basically bags her head, because he's not after, I don't know, we find out at this point, he's not after the money, he's after the zombie's head, basically, because
apparently it's worth a hell of a lot more.
Exactly. So Zeus, who's the king of the zombies, he finds the body, and then that's when we find out the zombie queen's pregnant. Which I think we already... I know Anthony's gone off that bit. I was a bit like, hey, what?
I mean...
what? I saw it coming because he was like... Earlier on in the film, he put his head to her stomach. When he turned...
Don't remember that bit.
Yeah, when he bit the... Or maybe just before or just after he bit the security guard.
Yeah.
When he first comes in, he like kneels down and puts his head to her stomach. And I thought, no, surely not. She's dead. She's been dead for like 3 years or 5 years or whatever.
But so is he.
I know, yeah.
So there's no blood pumping? So how the hell does that work?
Don't know. That was a bit weird. And again, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I suppose it tried to show that it was a way of showing that they had a relationship rather than it just being, two zombies.
Yeah.
But I think again, you got that anyway without the zombie fetus being pulled out, which was just a bit, but we get that is two Zack Snyder zombie films with two zombie babies, because there's a zombie baby in Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, what's that? I can't remember.
It was grim, but yeah, it was there. what Zack Snyder with zombie babies? Weird. Anyway, Zeus is obviously really pissed off, so he sends his army of alphas to go and attack the team in the casino. And we also, at that point, find out that the nuke isn't coming on the 4th of July now. It's been brought forward 24 hours. So they've basically got 2 hours left.
I think it's 1 hour and 38 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. It was just over an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah,
something. Because we needed to get the story going, because it was all going too well. They opened the safe. It was all going well.
Well, when the electric came on and the casino lights all came on and the jackpot noises all started, I was like, oh.
Yeah, because we already knew they're there, apart from the shamblers, you mean?
Yeah, but that's what I mean, because obviously there's already things in there as well.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, that's going to be everyone coming for them now.
Yeah, like Shaun of the Dead moment.
Yeah. So I kind of like did a moment.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah. So the plan's all been going really well. And then the alphas all roll up basically. So Dieter gets into the vault. Kate sneaks off to go find.
Cut to the helicopter though at that point, don't we? And notice and find out that she's having trouble with the engine.
Peters is having. So it's all going well apart from Peters with the helicopter.
Yeah.
But
she's still kind of going. Sound ready.
Yeah, saying she's working on it sometimes. She's been working for me. Started working for.
This is what I mean. She's hilarious.
Yeah, she's brilliant. And then then Drax and Maria decide to go and get Kate. Stop laughing. He's called Drax. It's my version. He's called Drax. And then that's when the alphas arrive in the lift and they kill Maria by breaking her neck. It looked shit.
It did look shit, didn't it?
It looked. I mean, it was the way he did it for a start. He kind of just put both his hands out, like really, like Nick Cage style in Ghost Rider. Put his hands out forward and just went pah like that.
Pah. Pah. I reckon he made that noise.
I did. He went pah. And it was just the way like her head turned around, and it was just like it just looked
I
really.
think the only way you could have made that better is if he'd have just done it and gone, look behind you.
Surprise!
Surprise.
But yeah, it didn't look great.
The thing was though, again, and this was where I made the comparison then. So when that happened just after they'd had their heart to heart, and this was kind of like, oh, these two could make a go of it after this happens.
What, Maria and Drax?
Yeah.
It was like
then
yeah,
that happened, and I was like, I found the mum and daughter sadder,
yeah.
and we got less story physically.
But
from
it was
that
just,
one.
it was just,
But it got more out of
didn't
it.
need to. It was like 30 seconds before he killed her. Out of nowhere, it was like, let's have a love story between Drax and Maria, because it just came out of nowhere and it was gone because she died.
I mean, you could see it a little bit throughout, but nothing was really played on script wise.
No,
Like, it wasn't really talked about. It was more of the
like
way
winks and looks, and
it was their acting. It
Yeah.
wasn't the writing, it was their acting that kind of introduced it a little bit. And then the writing suddenly happens. I reckon they've done the read through on the script and then gone, oh, so we are, yeah.
yeah.
And then they've played on that from the beginning.
Potentially.
Because it just, there's just no, and again, this is, I mean, I said to you before we started the podcast, actually, Zack Snyder can do a good storyline if he's got about 4 hours to do it.
He needed longer. It just felt like there were two. I mean, I felt like it was too long a film. I mean, we'll get to this in like the review, I suppose, at the end. I felt like it was too long, this film, for what it was.
Take out all the slow motion. It's
But,
to bring
yeah,
it back an hour quicker.
Yeah, but it's like, it was too long, but Zack Snyder, but then you quite rightly said, Zack Snyder didn't have enough time to do what he wanted to with this film. For this to be what, I reckon for it to be what Zack Snyder wanted it to be, he needed another hour. Whereas really you needed to cut 45 minutes and make it a bit more fast paced.
Zack needs to tone down his ambition a little bit.
Well, it's big this now. This is a franchise, this, mate.
I know, but
He does big films. He doesn't do. You're never gonna get Zack Snyder doing like an hour and 20-minute comedy or anything like that.
No, I get that, and that's absolutely fine. However,
does it
make sure it fits what you're doing?
Yeah, does it suit a zombie movie?
Which is a no. I mean, the only zombie movie where the franchise has really worked is Resident Evil, but that was I really enjoyed the Resident Evil films.
Wow.
Until about the end of the third one. I think after that I got a bit bored.
Oh.
But
yeah,
in general, the storyline itself was good.
I don't know.
But it had been developed on for years anyway because of the games and things like that. So,
well, they're doing it again, aren't they?
Yeah. But again, it's just it's hard to make it like a big story like this and keep you interested.
Yeah.
Because zombies are kind of one note.
Yeah, but I don't think they were in this.
No, I don't think they were. I think they were a little bit better than your other ones because they used more than just shamblers.
Yeah.
But the baby, man.
Yeah, it
started to get a bit weird.
It needed 45. It either needed to be 4 hours for Zack Snyder to get his true story, as I said, or it needed 45 minutes.
The 15-minute intro.
Yeah. No, it just needed to be. I mean, it was 2 hours 20 minutes or something like that. It needed to be an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and a bit more fast paced with cutting out a cut. We didn't need the shamblers in it at all. They didn't need to be in it. And this I know this only lasted a minute, but it didn't need to be there.
We said this and this was something I thought anyway. Seeing as they said it'd take a couple of hours to get to the building that they needed to get to, not a lot happened except for the shamblers.
No, well, I suppose
it wasn't until they were in the building that shit kind of went down.
I know, but they've been given a path through, hadn't they? So you didn't really need it. It wouldn't have made sense with the story. But it didn't need to be a cut. I know we didn't see it, but it didn't need to be. It was just more drawn out.
This is what I mean. I think it was because the rest of it was so long that the fact that didn't even make it into the film, and I thought there's been a whole journey there to get to it that's not even been touched on. However, we get there, and then we have 4 hours of.
You need an extra hour to make it work. Anyway, so there's alphas have all rolled up. They've killed Maria. They've snapped her neck and gone like that. And then that's what he did. And then that's when we know Martin. I mean, we already knew, but that's when they all find out that Martin's a bad guy. He traps them all in the basement of the casino.
But she swaps the head, doesn't
Lily
she?
swapped the head, yeah. So she's to put the cash counter machine in his bag, and then
Which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it was quite good, to be fair. Good plan. I like that. Well done, Lily.
And then the daughter not securing a bit as well. That annoyed me.
What do you mean?
Drax and his daughter, when they have their other moments while they're securing all of the entrances and exits.
She did it so she could sneak out.
I know, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Just
but he would have been able to get out. Martin would have been able to get out anyway.
No, I know.
Because he had the key card.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had his spare key card. He did. And then, then when he gets out, he gets killed by the tiger, which I thought was the only bit that was proper gory. I mean, we said this before we started recording, didn't we? There were gory parts, but not like zombie movie gory parts. This was the only bit. But I appreciated that because it's probably the thing I don't like about zombie movies, just like the ridiculous amount of gore.
I loved that they still kept in the tigeriness of it. In the like in the sense of like when a tiger attacks its prey, it's like ragging it round and all that kind of stuff. It was that kind of an animal of the jungle kind of thing. Yeah. But then it also did have the zombie element and then on its head.
Yeah, his brains. It did his brains. So then we were back to the vault, and Vandero and Data are basically the only ones in there because they went back for the money. Why did they go back for the money?
I don't know, but I love his scream. His scream makes me so happy.
But why did they go? I didn't even write this down. They went back they were all escaping, and they both looked at each other and went, the money, and they both turned around and went back for the money, and that's when Zeus came in. And then Vandero, fair play to him, decides I'm going to take this guy on hand to hand. He does, but he had a good go. To be fair. And then that's when he gets beat, and Data pushes Vandero into the vault and shuts the door, and then Data dies. But does he?
We don't see it, do we?
Didn't see it.
If you don't see someone die,
see somebody die, they're probably not dead.
Yeah.
Or they might be dead. But how he would have survived the nuke, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another vault.
One that wasn't quite as...
Could be another vault. Or he could have just got out. He could have just escaped at that point. Or he could be an alpha.
He could be.
Could be an alpha. But he'd be dead now anyway. So, Drax and Lily and Guzman manage to get out, but then Guzman gets bitten by some alphas in the casino. He blows himself up rather than turning, and then that's when the other two get to the roof. But Zeus is there waiting for them because he just seems to be able to like teleport wherever he wants because he's always there. Every time someone tries to escape, Zeus is just there like that. We'll get to that in a minute because that's something else that wound me up. So he's there. On the roof, Lily distracts him with the Queen's head because she's got the Queen's head in the bag, and then Drax manages to escape in the helicopter, and then that's when Lily gets pinned to the wall with a big
throwing spear thing. Well, it's not a throwing spear; it's
a big piece of metal, isn't it?
Yeah,
like a concrete.
Yeah,
and then she drops the head. She drops the head on the floor, but why does he want the head? What was he going to do with the head?
This was the thing. I thought for a second, is he going to put it back on her?
I thought
and then she can still grow the baby. But then I thought they've taken the baby out, so
maybe just put it back in.
Maybe.
Just like,
I mean,
baby
there
back
doesn't
in.
seem to be any fucking
baby
rules
back
in this,
in,
does there?
head back on, duct tape, like that, and then
leave it in the oven for 40 minutes.
Duct tape the stomach back shut. 15 minutes later, ding.
Here's one I made earlier.
Exactly, yeah, maybe. You never know. We've talked about it. People are probably. I'm not convinced everybody would have noticed this. Robot zombies.
Right, so I saw two of them.
I thought I saw one before the very, very obvious one in the casino when Guzman shoots him.
There was one that got slammed against a wall, and it did like a little electrical charge at the side of its head as it hit the wall.
But did you notice though that some of the alphas, like Zeus when he gets shot at the end, all this like blue smoke comes out of his head?
I didn't notice the blue smoke.
Yeah, and the baby, when he pulled the baby out, that was all blue, and then it went not blue basically. But these were robots.
Some of them were, yeah.
There were two, not all of them, yeah. Two of them were robots.
Well, so the one that obviously really stood out was in the main room of the casino when what's his name?
Guzman.
Guzman is about to die.
Yeah, the one without the top on, he gets shot
in the face, and then he looks like Terminator.
Yeah.
Because half his face is missing, but it's blue eye and metal head and shit.
Yeah.
What
was that all about?
And then it was never mentioned.
Well, Zack Snyder did an interview and he pointed it out before the film to say that there's robot zombies in this film, and he's not explained what it is.
Like,
well, I think the theory. I think we'll find out
is
because there's more to come.
Is this like a thing because he's not been told he can have a second one yet? And so many people will ask
Just
why
putting
this is going on.
Yeah.
So that they go, right, make the second one.
We've got
questions.
we've got prequels, haven't we? We've got prequels coming.
Have we?
Yeah. So the theory online is that it could be something to do with aliens because Zeus did come out of Area 51. So is it something alien-y? But they reckon. I think the prevailing theory is that he is. Oh, that the government have put robot zombies in there to spy on the zombies.
Oh, okay.
Which would make sense.
To understand how they...
Keep an eye on them. Make sure that they're staying in there, yeah. But surely you'd be able to... I don't know, because they could smell...
But nobody seemed to react to it and go, hang on.
No, yeah. When they shoot... Well, surely that Guzman would have been like... I mean, whether you'd have time to sit there and go, whoa, hang on.
Wait
Stop! Stop, zombie! Stop biting me a second. Have you seen this fella? He's a robot. But yeah, I don't know. It was really random. But again, it felt like something else, another element of the film that if he'd had another hour to do it, we'd have maybe found out more, or maybe we wouldn't have. He just wants people to.
I think we need to make a meme where that one gets shot. You see it, and then it just cuts to Austin Powers going, "Mole, bloody mole!"
It just didn't make sense. But yeah, they were there. There were robot zombies. If you missed them the first time, go back and watch them.
Yeah,
but it's
definitely a thing.
It was weird. So Drax gets dropped. We know obviously Kate's gone after Gita, so Drax gets Peters to drop him on the Olympus, which is basically where all the Alphas live, and which is where they've been holding the Gita hostage. The zombie security guard is now a zombie. He's now an alpha. And
this was the other thing. I was wondering whether those girls were going to be surrogates for him.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
I thought he was just eating them.
No, I thought maybe they're surrogates. He already had them, so I didn't... I don't know that is what it is, but when after... Even though the whole baby thing happened, I kind of said, well, if they were going to do a baby, I'd have thought that they would have been the surrogates for him.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
I don't know. Maybe that's a thing.
Maybe. It's dark.
It is dark. It's gross.
Dark, but maybe.
It's Zack Snyder, I keep nearly saying, and I don't know why.
It's Zack Snyder.
It's his territory, innit?
It is, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
No.
But, so they kill the zombie security guard, and then that's when Zeus shows up. Dave Bautista saves them. Just call him Dave now. Dave saves them with a grenade launcher, and then they end up escaping to the roof. We think Peters is gone and flown away in the helicopter, but obviously she hasn't. She comes back, and then they all jump in the helicopter, but so does Zeus. See, this is another problem. You've got a helicopter. You're not even on the top of the building. You're literally flying next to the building. You the good guys jump in, and Zeus comes running towards the helicopter. Up.
Up is a good...
Sideways? Away? No, we'll go down. Let's take the helicopter down so that he can jump in. I was sat there, as it was happening before he even jumped in, I was like, why are you taking the helicopter down? He's going to jump in the helicopter. And then, shockingly, he jumps in the helicopter. It's just like, what? I couldn't understand it. I was literally sat there shouting, go up to the screen. It's like, what were they doing?
What made me laugh even more is all the way through this, Mum was just going, he's so clever having a helmet on, isn't he? I was like, yes, Mum.
He did.
Clearly, he's protecting his head.
Zeus did have a helmet all the way through the film. It was just.
Do you know
weird.
what it made me think of? Game of Thrones. Quite a lot.
It made me think. Oh, what, the film?
Yeah.
Why? I know you said this, but
so I don't know. I think it was like
because you thought it was going to be good. It was shit at the end.
No, because right, if you looked at some of their makeup, it was quite similar to the White Walkers in general. So it's the pulling in of the face. Now I know they're zombies and they're dead, so that would happen anyway. But there was just a lot of similarities to it. And then Zeus with his helmet on, coming in on a dead horse.
Oh yeah,
I was a bit like, it's the Night Walkers, isn't it? Like the White Walkers even. But it just made me think quite a lot of kind of.
See, you've made me think of that something that. So I'm gonna go back here now because I'm gonna rewind a little bit because I didn't write it down.
Well, we're gonna go back anyway to talk about.
I did. It was just something else that annoyed me. So when when Drax leaves, gets in a helicopter at Tanaka's casino,
Yeah.
and says we need to go to the Olympus,
Yeah.
to get Kate.
Yeah.
Zeus is on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they fly in a helicopter to the Olympus, and Zeus beats them.
How fast is Zeus?
How he's managed to get all the way down, because it's a big building, that black casino. He's managed to get all the way down that casino. The lifts surely aren't working. He's got downstairs. It's like Hulk hates stairs in Endgame. Hulk hates stairs, like that. He's
No
got down,
stairs.
No stairs. So many stairs. He's got down all them stairs, got on his horse, and then we cut to him. Because when you see the helicopter fly into the Olympus, and you see Zeus on his horse, I was like, "Is that that must be another zombie riding the horse?" Because they're catching up with him. Yeah. But they left before him. Yeah. It just didn't make sense.
I know.
But again, it was purely for the story.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I backtracked there, but it just really, bugged me.
There was a lot of bits like that where it just didn't add up.
It just didn't make sense at all, did it?
No.
So we're in the helicopter. Zeus has jumped in because Peters flew down instead of up. He bites Dave Bautista, which we saw coming a mile off, and then that's when he gets shot in the head, and we get all the blue smoke coming out of his head, which you didn't see, but there was blue smoke. And I was shockingly Anthony didn't see it. And then the nuke goes off, and the shockwave basically makes the helicopter crash. And then Peters is dead, which I was a bit gutted by. Yeah. Geeta's dead, which I thought was stupid. Right. Because we didn't see the body.
Well, right, this is the thing, because this is the bit that annoyed me now. So, in the helicopter, we have got Dave Bautista. Yeah. His daughter. Yeah. Geeta. Yeah. And then the other woman. No. Because there were two of them.
One of them got killed by the security guard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just Geeta. And Peters.
But did we see Geeta die?
No, we didn't see a body. We didn't see a die or anything.
Because this is what annoyed me then.
It annoyed me because we'd done all this to get bloody Geeta, and then they killed her.
But did they?
Well, yeah. I don't know. We don't know.
There was just no mention of her.
No. There was no body or anything. It was all about
Dave dying and all that kind of stuff.
She didn't even look for her.
There was no story about it afterwards. It just left it like they'd forgotten.
I just assumed she was dead, but that annoyed me because of it. I just thought.
Make a point of it.
Yeah,
Get her back to her daughter, or make a thing about her being dead.
The whole thing was the whole reason that Kate's entire character arc was her going in to save Geeta because her kids were going to be on their own.
And then there was no mention of whether she actually completed that.
No. It bugged me on the basis that she's dead because I thought what a waste of that was. What was the point in the extra bit of story? It's just a bit tedious,
basically.
Yeah, but it just it didn't really go anywhere, did it? No. So then Dave's been bit, so he turns into an alpha. Yeah. And then he asks Kate to shoot him, and then that's when the rescue helicopter shows up because somehow it knows that they're there exactly where they are and stuff like that. Yeah. Even though the whole area was supposed to be evacuated. And then that's when we get, is it an after credits? I don't think it was after credits. I think it was just the very end of the film.
No, it's just the very end of the film.
So we cut to the casino, and it's all basically been destroyed by the nuke. Yeah. And then Van der Rohe comes out of the vault, which we knew he was going to survive. Yeah. As soon as he got locked in the vault. He's basically got all the money. He's got $200 million. He's just wandering around, robs a car, goes and hires a private plane. And I didn't see it coming.
Right. I didn't see it coming. However, I got really annoyed over this.
What? Over him being bitten?
No. First of all,
I saw him getting out of the vault.
How did we see him not get bitten? I mean, how did we not see him get bitten?
I agree.
Right, because we saw everything that happened in that lead up.
We saw the whole thing. Yeah, and we saw him go really, really close to his arm, and then Data knocked him over the back, him over the back of the head with a fire extinguisher. Yeah, so twice he's been hit with a fire extinguisher in the back of the head, Zeus.
So technically,
when did he get bit? Yeah.
The second thing is, right, when we've watched anyone turn after being bitten from the beginning of that, it was very quick. Yeah. It was very, very quick. Yeah. And he's robbed a car and then got to an airport.
And instantly died of radiation poisoning.
That was that was my next one after that, is the fact that how did he get from A to B without, I mean, you look at Chernobyl and people still can't go in there
if he's been
40 years later.
Yeah, I know, but you could probably say that the fact that he's now turning into a zombie.
The cells are already mutating and all that.
Yeah, could have potentially stopped him from just collapsing and dying. Because he's dead.
Because to
he's
be
already
honest,
dead,
when he was on the plane I was going, oh, this is the radiation hitting him now. That was what was going through my head
No,
when
as
I
soon
saw
as he
it started
started,
going.
as soon as he started getting ill, I thought he's somehow been bitten. But
I mean,
then I started
that's
thinking,
what my
why
mum
has he
said,
been
and
bitten?
I'm sitting there going, no,
He
it's
hasn't
the
been bitten.
radiation, because he'd had turned by now if it was if it was a bite.
It didn't make sense, and also I don't know. I can't believe he wouldn't have checked himself, or because he didn't come across as at all the entire film. He didn't come across as somebody who'd be like
that egotistical that they'd.
If he came across to me, if he found out he got bit, he'd kill himself in 2 seconds. And now he didn't.
Yeah.
Now he's like, oh,
it changed his whole personality.
It looks like he's kind of like weighing up on the. It's like he's weighing up. Oh, do I tell somebody, or do I just see how I get on and see if I can survive it? Do you know what? You can see it going through his head, and it's like, but he didn't come across as that type of character.
Not at all.
But he's flying to where? Mexico? I think
New Mexico.
Yeah. So, and that's the end of the film. So it leaves it massively open for a sequel.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff in there to set up a sequel, i.e., where's Gita? Where's Data? Where's what's with the robot zombies?
Yeah,
and also, even where did Zeus come from? Because he's obviously come from Area 51 in some way. I think he looked to me like he was a soldier, been infected by something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm sure we will get sequels. I've read that Netflix want to really push this as a franchise. That this is where they want to put money. Yeah, they want to put a ton of money into this.
Well, they've lost Marvel recently, haven't they? Because
they have.
Because the buyout and stuff.
Yeah,
so maybe this is just their way of
Sony.
Close stuff back.
They got all the Sony stuff, haven't they? But we are
getting Sony's. So again, for some of Sony's biggest stuff, so the fact that they're going into the agreement with Marvel and things like that, the fact that Spider-Man's on both now, aren't they? Because Spider-Man's going on to Disney Plus.
Yeah, but
it'll
Netflix
also be on
get
Netflix.
It first. Netflix get it first, and then after. So I think.
But
Netflix
if you're going to sit and
get
watch your Marvel films, you're going to go to Disney, aren't you?
Oh
That's
yeah,
the thing.
after they're going to get it for the first couple of months, and then after that, you're going to put it on Disney.
That's what I mean.
So other stuff that's coming up is going to be, we are getting Army of the Dead Lost Vegas, which is coming to Netflix. I don't know if it's this year or next year. So it's going to be a 6-part anime style series.
Okay.
And it's when Zeus first arrives in Vegas, and it's Dave Bautista's character and everybody trying to get out of Vegas. So it's that story.
Yeah.
So it's that story. All the cast are back. So Dave Bautista's back. The girl who does the voice of Kate, Maria Van der Rohe, they're all back in it. And then they're also getting Joe Manganiello, Christian Slater, and Vanessa Hudgens. So it's got a decent cast.
I haven't heard from Vanessa Hudgens for a while. Like.
I know, yeah. And then the best one, we are getting another prequel called Army of Thieves.
Yeah.
And it's about Data being a jewel thief. It's basically the jobs he did trying to break into banks and stuff like that before he got this. So that's coming out this year, and it's got him in it, and it's got Natalie Emmanuel from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
She's going to be in it as well. So there is.
Is that Marjorie? No.
Marjorie. I don't remember Marjorie in Game of Thrones. She plays Khaleesi's right hand woman.
The one from Hollyoaks.
Yes, the one who used to be in Hollyoaks.
Yeah. I was thinking of Marjorie, isn't it? She was the one that was
Marjorie.
Yeah.
It's a character that we've digressed massively. Yeah.
She's the one that was in. She was Anne Boleyn in The Tudors, and she was in Hunger Games as well as the news reporter with the half skinhead, and then half.
Oh yeah, I know you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you mean. But it is Marjorie. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
is it
thank you. I'm sure it is.
Maybe.
Don't know.
I don't know. I'm just nodding.
I was so certain when I first said it.
We spent 5 minutes talking about Marjorie from Game of Thrones on an Army of the Dead episode. Anyway, I thought it was a good film in that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I came
on
out
a very
thinking
basic level. It was entertaining.
Yes.
It made me laugh.
Yeah.
It did give me emotions, whether some of it was being fuming or whether it was kind of a bit of sadness or whether it was just kind of general fun and entertaining.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I'd watch a sequel. I'd be quite excited for a sequel. I don't think it was a great film.
I think I need a sequel. If we get a sequel, I need it to answer the questions.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the thing. If we get a sequel and it doesn't answer the questions, I'll probably then just pack it in and be like, nah, I'm not playing this game.
I was going to say, I think I'd have enjoyed it more if it was 45 minutes shorter and it was a bit more fast paced. But then we wouldn't have had I don't think we'd have had all these questions and be sitting there going, I want a sequel.
But I think that's exactly why he's done it.
Yeah, because he wants a
but I'm not asking the questions in a good way of, oh, I'm excited. I'm asking
No,
them
I know what you mean.
in a frustrated,
Plot holes.
you haven't really given us the full story
No, no,
kind of way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think, as I mentioned to you before we started recording the podcast, it didn't really feel like a zombie movie.
No.
Zombie movies are like Dawn of the Dead. His Dawn of the Dead, which is like 15 years old now or something ridiculous like that. That wasn't like zombie movies before either, because it was much more fast paced, as in the zombies were a lot more threatening. But that's what I now see zombie movies as being, and this didn't feel like a zombie movie. It could have, in my opinion, been anything other than it could have been anything else. Those zombies could have been any number of different monsters. It could have been vampires. Could have been, I don't know, aliens, because you got away with aliens. I don't know, but they didn't really have any of the zombie
qualities.
Qualities probably isn't the word, but you know what I mean. It didn't have any, but maybe that's a good thing, because it wasn't just another zombie movie. There was a bit more to it. But,
see, that's why I like stuff like The Walking Dead. I mean, the later series have now kind of gotten a bit with it.
Yeah,
but I like that the zombies, although it's all about The Walking Dead, they're not the main focus. It's just that they're always there, and it's always something you've got to watch out for. So I like that they kind of fall into the background a little bit, but are still constantly there, if that makes sense.
Maybe that's what he was trying to sort of do with the film, but he didn't have enough time to do it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because it kind of wasn't it? He pushed along more different ideas than just the fact that it's a zombie movie.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what he was going for. The other thing, which I don't think you know, which we mentioned before when we talked about Peters and the fact that she wasn't in it very much. I know this, and to be fair, it's in quite a lot of like news outlets at the moment. So Tig Notaro, who played Peters, was added to the film after it was all filmed in post-production.
Oh. Okay, no, I didn't know.
So originally, the film...
Is that why she's very much on her own?
Yes.
In a lot of scenes?
Yes.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, every camera shot is pretty much her on it.
Not all of them. Some of them.
No, some of them are with Dave
in the group. Yeah, some of she's with. So she's never met Dave Bautista. They have never met.
Really?
They have never met. Yeah, she didn't film any scenes with like the rest of the cast apparently.
Oh, how lonely is that?
So well, because they filmed they did the whole film.
And then they went, shit, we forgot the
No,
pilot.
no, they didn't. So they filmed the whole
How
film.
did they get out?
Yeah, plot hole. We'll
Zach's
cover
gone,
that one
shit,
up.
can't do this. I can't leave this one unanswered, can I? How did they get out?
It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't. So they filmed the whole film with an actor called Chris D'Elia.
Right, so I think I saw a news report about somebody called Chris in the film and that they were banned.
Yes.
Is this part of that?
So there's I won't go into it, but there's a number of allegations against the guy, and Netflix decided that they couldn't include him in the film. But rather than not have the film and go out or cut the part completely because they wouldn't.
They contacted someone from a different Netflix original series, which is what Discovery is.
Yeah, and
Makes
after
sense.
the whole film had been done, they inserted her in with green screen, and basically just put her in. And I don't think you can really tell. I mean, I was looking for it. There was the odd bit I was a bit like...
So I've gone into that blind and didn't know that was the case, and I did not notice at all. And it's only now that you've told me that I've gone and gone, most of her scenes were on her own, and she wasn't in a lot of the film in the middle. Yeah. So that I get that now.
It does make sense. But I just think it's brilliantly done. Yeah. The fact that she's not...
She made me laugh, even at the beginning, when they asked her to join in, they go...
When they were on the other side, when they were on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, and they're like, "Come and do this for us," and she was like, "Yeah, okay." And I'm like, "Don't you even want to know what it is?" And she's like, $2 million.
Yeah, but that must have been in the script though.
I know,
they were saying it, that you even know what
I
it
just
is.
loved it. I just thought it was brilliant because she's like, something different in it.
But they did say it cost them a couple of $1 million to add her into the film. So maybe but maybe that's why we didn't get any more robot zombies. Because they spent the budget putting Tig Notaro in the film for the 30 seconds that she was on screen. But no, I thought that was... I think that made the film, to me, because I knew it going in, a little bit more interesting. Yeah. And a little bit... Not more enjoyable, but it made me want to watch it a little bit more. Yeah. Because I wanted to see how they'd done this, but after the back of trailers and stuff like that, I hadn't picked up on it at all. I think I only found out a couple of days before I watched it. But all in all, I thought it was good. It was a solid film. It was entertaining.
It was an entertaining film. I don't know whether it's because we knew we were going to be talking about it that I've picked it apart more than I normally would.
Maybe.
For me, it was just that the unanswered questions were more frustrating than exciting for the next bit of the story.
Well, I think we're bound to get a lot of those questions answered, and I think if Netflix are going down the route of having an anime style series,
or maybe if they're doing the prequel, we'll get kind of the introduction of the fact that they have put robots in there.
It left it very. I mean, there were a number of bits in there that left it kind of open, and then there was the ending that left it massively open. So it needs to be wrapped up. But yeah, good. Should we wrap up? We're not doing theories. Feels weird.
Yeah, it does seem really weird.
We're literally going straight to wrap up. So we are still going to be releasing another episode this week, so we'll drop it on Friday. We're going to carry
Ragnarok.
on with Loki. I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
Loki countdown is going to continue with Thor Ragnarok, which is one of my favourite MCU
it's one of my
films.
favourites,
Definitely the best Thor film by a mile. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that when it drops on Friday. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter at Superhero Thing. We're on Facebook at That Superhero Thing. We've also got the Facebook group, so you can go on there. You can leave messages on there. Let us know any questions or theories that you've got for the podcast. You can also find us on at thatsuperherothing.com. The contact page is on there as well, so links to all the social media, and there's also a facility where you can leave a voice message and we can include you in the podcast. It'd be nice if somebody did that again, because it's been a while since we've had a voice message off somebody.
They're probably a bit like me, and they just don't like hearing the sound of their own voice.
Probably, yeah. Probably recording them and then going, no, delete.
I'm the same.
I'd be the same. To be fair, it's taken me like this long to be able to listen to myself and edit.
I close my eyes when I listen because it just makes me cringe. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, still not great. If you're great, Anthony.
Thanks.
Well Cheers. If you're enjoying the podcast, please do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. A 5-star review would be amazing if you wouldn't mind giving us one of them. It really helps us get discovered by new listeners and helps us obviously get out there a little bit more. But other than that, thank you for tuning in twice in a week for our bonus episode. And I said we'll be back to weekly next week. So thanks very much from me.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.